No, you don't need to sit there. You got your own seat. I said you've got your own seat.
You got me tardy by chance.
Did you come in late?
Yes, I did.
Then yes.
What?
Don't ask. Just be here.
Does that mean I'm not exempt from my finals anymore?
No, they've already done the attendance checks. Those are going to be done. What?
Hey, so after we're done covering everything, can I run to the civics teacher's room to ask her a question about the summer field trip that she's doing?
You can go check in, but if she has class, you shouldn't interrupt her class.
Yeah. I don't know if she has class. So I can just...
Well, if she doesn't have class, she may not be in there. But you can try in a little bit.
All right, yeah, thank you.
Okay, sit down, please. I'm trying to start class.
Okay.
All right, guys. Obviously, today is the last day before the semester exam, so we need to discuss exemption stuff. If you had asked anybody besides me if you were exempt, that doesn't cut it. Remember, I still check to make sure that your semester exam review is finished, and the checks that the office does and puts in a spreadsheet does not do the grade check. So if you asked your advisor or some other random teacher if you were exempt from something, this isn't just for my class, but for all of your classes. That's not the person to ask. You need to check in with each of those teachers. So if you are trying to exempt, I will need to see that you have your review finished, and I would like to get verbal confirmation of that. So in just a couple minutes here, I will ask one or two people at a time to come up if you are trying to exempt, so I can give you that confirmation. But I want to get everybody else going here first. So a few reminders on the final exam. Well, first off, just because you can exempt a final doesn't mean that you have to. You're still welcome to come and take it. So, I mean, if you had an A, it'd be kind of silly to come and take it. If you need somewhere to be, you could just come and sit in here while they take their test. But if you have a B, you could potentially bump it up to an A. So if you're exempt and choose to take the final, or if you have to take the final because you weren't exempt, you need to remember that we do allow a note card, so it has to be a standard size note card. If you bring in a bigger note card and I check it before the test, I will have to take it from you at the beginning of the test, so that is not going to go well for you. Also has to be one side only. If you write on both sides, I have to take it from you at the start of the test. And it has to be handwritten, no typing and printing. If you just need one note card and you don't want to go buy a whole pack of them, I do have enough for you to have one. So I will pass those out in just a minute if you would like one. If you need a bunch for one of your other classes, you need to go buy some. Also, on the final exam, reminder that we do allow a calculator on the entire thing. So there's a ton of it you should be able to do by hand. But there's quite a few things that you could check with the calculator, so that's something to keep in mind as you're preparing for this final exam. And the grade replacement, I don't know if I've said the second part of this, but I know I've said the first part. The first part, the part that you should have heard before, is that if you take the final exam, that will go in as a 100-point test, period, end of statement. Also, If you do better on the semester exam than you did on some other assessment, we can do a grade replacement. We would not do the grade replacement to lower your grade, but again, those are two separate statements. Just because you don't get the grade replacement doesn't mean that you don't get the 100-point score. If you take the final, it goes in as a test grade. If it can replace something and it helps, then we will do that. The idea there is, of course, if you can do better on a test that's assessing the whole semester versus a test that was only over a couple weeks, then obviously the whole semester is a little bit more important. So trying to make that more of an upside for you. So potentially if you have a B, that's a good reason why you can swing it up to an A fairly easily, depending on what your low test grade was. The second part of this, I don't think I've told you, because last week was an A week and I haven't seen y'all in a while. For the grade replacement, you need to know what assessments you're hoping to get replaced. You need to go through your grade book, look that up, and be ready to write it on your final exam. When you start your final exam, there'll be a place next to your name where you can say what assessments you're hoping to exempt. You could say Unit 1, I know what you're talking about. You could say the 4.4 through 4.7 exam, I would know what you're talking about. You could say number 53 in gradebook, I would know what you're talking about. Any way that you can communicate that to me. I don't, unfortunately, have time to go compare all of your test grades, see which one's the lowest, and grade your final exam, enter in your final exam, compare your final exam to those others, and maybe make a replacement. I don't have time to do that for all of my students, so that part's on you. If you don't look that up and communicate that to me on the day of the final, then you won't get a grade replacement. That part is on you. So I think that's the first time I've mentioned that part of it. So is there any questions to that? Any questions to the grade replacement thing? Honestly, if I was you, I would look it up here in just a couple minutes, write it at the top of your review, and then when you come to take the final exam, if you forget, you could just pull your review out for a second, look at the top of the page, and then you would remember. So once again, and I just don't have time to do that, so if you are not willing to look that up beforehand and communicate that to me, then you will not get a grade replacement. Additionally, I will not do that retroactively. If you forget, and then you email me, hey, I forgot this, can you go and do that? The answer will be no. You need to do that beforehand. We do this in calculus as well, and I communicated that very well to them multiple times. And I can tell you, for them, they had to take part of their final yesterday and today. Only about half of them remembered for the part that was yesterday or today. So hopefully the other half remember for the second half, or they won't get a grade replacement. So I don't know how to emphasize that more, but obviously that's supposed to be a good opportunity, but you have to follow through on your part of it. Okay, in just a moment, well, the first thing I want to do is pass out note cards if you need them, because that will be quick. Then I will do quick semester exam checks. And again, to exempt, I need to see that your review is finished. So you should have it out, I guess, and let me see it. Even if you turned it in Google Classroom, it's going to be quicker for me to scan it and give you verbal confirmation that way. But for everybody, you should put it in Google Classroom for the homework points. And if I don't have it for when we start the final exam on Thursday, then it will be too late for credit on that. At the end of the semester, I have less flexibility in my stuff, so unfortunately that passes on to you as well. Okay, last thing, usually someone makes up one of these little schedules and shares it, like in teacher announcements. Maybe it was presented this way to you guys in student announcements, I don't know, but I never saw anybody present one this year. So I went to the school website, zoomed in, copied that, and I made that for my advisory students. But if you would like a copy of when and what tests are the rest of the week, you are welcome to take a picture of that. So I'll leave that up for just a second. Okay, does anybody know they'd like to borrow a note card from me? Anybody else? Okay, if you change your mind on the note card, I will leave them here. Again, you're welcome to one of those. Okay, so then let me do exemption check stuff and jot that information down so that I know I have communicated that to you. And then as you guys are working on the review or practicing things or making your note card, anything that you need help with, obviously, I'm here to help, so feel free to ask. As always, I can come to you, or you can bring it up here to me. Okay, but if you are trying to exempt, again, just 1 or 2 people at a time. I can't help more than 1 person at a time anyway, but if you'd please come up and let me see that you have your review finished, and I will check the rest of the stuff while you're up here. Here. Thank you. Here you go. I didn't recognize you at first.
Yeah. Shop for charity.
Okay, you're exempt.
So I don't have a physical copy, but I did turn it on Google Classroom.
Okay.
That's here, you can take it on. That's the first,
Swipe?
yeah, swipe.
Okay, good. That's all I need.
Okay,
You're-
thank you.
Alright, so then how do we put it everywhere?
Alright, that looks fine. Thank you. You're exempt.
Thank you.
Did you? I don't see where you applied for exemption.
Oh wait, no, I didn't apply for this class. I have a question now.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay.
Can I have another one of those? Can I have a copy?
Yeah, I have some extras on the bottom of the book case over there.
Thank you.
Question.
Well, the answer is no until I see that your review is finished anyway.
Well, I turned it in on the Google Classroom.
Okay, you don't have it with you?
No.
How do you spell your last name?
Labyrinth, L-A-B-E-R-A-N-T-Z.
L-A-B.
E-A-N-T-Z.
Okay, you're fine here. Okay, first page looks complete. Okay, you're exempt.
Yes. Hey, do you have a spoon by chance?
I don't.
That's fine.
Oh, who took the pass?
You're exempt. Thank you. Okay, you're exempt. Okay, you're exempt. Okay, anybody else here applied for exemption and want me to check? You didn't apply for exemption in this class. You still need to upload this to Google Classroom.
Oh, okay. I thought we had this. Alright.
I'm just doing exemption checks right now.
Alright.
Okay, you're exempt.
I exempted and I uploaded all the stuff to Classroom.
Okay, let me check here. screen's a little small for my old eyes. I need to double check some of this. I know that's not correct.
Okay.
You need to check your answers. And I have to see your work. You gotta include your work before I can count it. Okay, anybody else here today that applied for exemptions in this class and have your review finished? Okay, I guess that's the end of the exemption checks. So again, if you are taking the final, either because you have to or because you're choosing to, of course, use the review as a springboard to give you an idea of what it is you need to review, what it is you may need to put on a note card, and if you need any help with any of that, today is your last day, because I don't see you again until the day of the final. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to bring them up here to me or call me over and I will help you. But I think that's it.